For more tips and tricks, don't forget to hit that button and subscribe. Also, ring the bell so you can get notifications anytime I have new videos. Before we start, I want to tell you to make sure to drop a comment below because we're going to give away 3 lighted levels by Swanson Tool Company. This is not a sponsorship. I'm giving these away myself. So, if you drop a comment and you're chosen, make sure to get back with me. It's easier if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, go to paulstoolbox.com and also drop a comment in there on the contact section. Welcome to Paul's Toolbox. I'm Paul Ricalde, and I said I would cover cutting a hole in this wall to get rid of, get some of my wiring and all this junk out the way. We're gonna put it in the wall. The only thing I wanna have here is my sound bar and my TV. Other than that, I want everything out the way. I don't wanna have this cluster back here. And I don't wanna have everything pulling my entertainment center and my TV off of the wall. I'm putting taller baseboard on here. That's why I wanna pull all this off anyway. But when I do it, I wanna mark the wall where the studs are. That way it's easy to pry off and I won't cause any damage. This is a great little tool. It's by Franklin Sensors and it's very accurate. It tells you exactly where your stud is and the center of it. So I know I have something here. I'm gonna come across. This is the center. I'm gonna pry right there. You'll wanna score the caulk on this. That way you can pull the baseboard off relatively easily. I do have a pre-existing split there, so no big deal. I'm throwing this away anyway, and I'm putting larger molding on. We're gonna cut out this area right here, and I'll just go all the way to the floor so we can eliminate this, and it'll be a lot easier. I won't have to float all of this out and the other. I love this level because it has lights in it, and the older I get, the harder it is for me to see. I'm gonna go this height right here. I don't want it above my TV. I just want it behind it. I have the center of my stud and I'm going to show the sides because what I want to do is cut right down the side next to this stud. This is my other stud, but I'll just cut my drywall straight down on the side of this. I'm going to cut this drywall in minutes, seconds. And when I do, I'm just going to come across these studs. I'm not even worried about hitting them. I'm not worried about these wires back here. None of this is going to get damaged. I'm just going to cut it right across there and then we can start framing. I want to take my square, set it on the back wall, and I'll put my hand inside the wall up top and mark it. Now if you have insulation in the way, you'll have to move that. And you want to do both sides. And you see I'm over some, so I have a little extra room. You really want to do both sides if you can, because it's easier to make it straight. But if not, you could still work it from one side if I stop like right here. Now I'm not concerned about cutting this because it's a non-supporting wall, meaning it is not holding up my ceiling joists. They usually will run the same way if you have a non-supporting wall. Your ceiling joists will run the same way as this wall. But if you have rafters or ceiling joists that sit on this wall and tie together right on top of this wall, you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be supporting, and you can't just cut this without having some blocking, something to hold the ceiling up. It's going to be easy. I'm going to cut this and we're going to block it back up the same way and keep the strength and the integrity of this wall right here. But when I do it, I have nails on the other side of that sheetrock. We're going to have to try to work that out without damaging that other wall. First, I'm going to take a clamp and hold these wires out of the way. I set the depth as far as it'll go in. And the nice thing about this is it uses a full-size 7 1/4 blade. Not bad. Now I'm gonna use my multi-tool. And I will tell you, indoors, they're pretty darn noisy. I'm trying to find the nails or screws. I'm hoping it's nails. Yeah. They will cause less damage than screws. There you go. Remember when I had this cut a little over past the stud? It's for a reason. This is disconnected. It's the only one that has power to it. But I'm gonna get it all out the way for now so I can show you how we can retrofit this. 36 inches. I tuck it in the wall here. 29 and a half will go right here. Now remember, I have to screw all these together, right? Also, I'm going to block this down. It's going to come down a little further. So this will be my opening. But I'm going to have to put blocks here, and I'm going to have to drill a hole on the two sides here for my wires to come through before I put it in. Now what I'm going to do is pre-screw this on that side and pre-screw this. Put two screws in it, run it into here. I'm not going to screw the bottom one, not yet, because I'll be able to get to it from underneath. That's why I left that little opening right here. I can get my screw gun in and run two screws right underneath here. Let's take this puppy out. Of course, I'll have to show you how to do the box. It's simple stuff. We'll address that as well. So if you don't feel comfortable with the electrical part, get an electrician to do it. If you don't feel comfortable cutting a wall, don't do it. If you're not sure that this is a non-supporting wall, don't cut it. Talk to someone else, let them check it out, a contractor or someone who knows that kind of stuff if you're not comfortable with it. Once you know, then you can cut it out. If you don't want to deal with that, you can always have someone do this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go about 4 inches up and just drill it on an angle like this, so I can run this wire right through and I don't have to worry about hitting the wire when I put my nails in. We're going to run it right through our board. So what I'll do is I'm going to tuck this board in after. I'll pull it out for now. So we're good all over. We'll get this all secured. Now I know I have a stud here and here, so I can run a screw through that and hold it in place. So I'll let it sit for a minute. I'm not going to pre-drill this. I'm just going to run a couple of screws through it for now. Take my level. Perfect. Looking good. I'll run a screw right into this stud, and I know it's not going anywhere. It locks it in. I'm not going to put all my screws in and get it totally secure yet, because I'm going to slip this board in. The last two would be these right here, and it's pre-drilled, so I can go right into it. I took a measurement from the side to my hole right here, and I cut a piece of wood that's gonna fill in. And I had it stop right here because this is where my outlet's gonna go. I'm gonna put it right here in between two pieces of wood, 2 blocks of wood. So when I sheetrock everything, it'll be in between there and it'll fit nicely in there. Another thing is I'm using a metal box where usually I don't like to use them. I like to use plastic. But when you're going inside a wall right here, you want to put metal because if someone takes a nail or a screw and tries to hang a picture or do something on the other side of the wall, they could possibly penetrate this. And they have plates to put over it, but I won't have a stud. So this works out really well. So we have Ethernet and cable all going through this. That's why I'm not as concerned about putting some metal plate on there. Now, if you penetrate that, you'll lose your internet or whatever, but you're not gonna get electrocuted or short out your house. I really like to use torque guns because they hammer as they're going in, so they don't split the wood and they won't bind. Now, no, I'm not saying you can't split the wood, but the chances are very slim. Especially with white wood. So, I like it when I'm doing interior framing like this. It really works out well. I'm gonna put my 2 screws toward the center, not toward the end, because it can split easier that way. Even though this is white wood, if you're running a large screw like that through the ends, you can cause it to split. And like I said, this really comes in handy. It keeps it from splitting or prevents a lot of splitting because it's hammering as it goes. As it's turning, it's hammering. Much better than using a drill. We want to put our box in, so we're going to pop this plug out right here. And a lot of times you can just hit it. I'll use a screwdriver, pop it down. Once you pop it down, then you can just grab it and twist it, and it comes out. Normally I would put my ring in here to lock it in place, but I want this to sit right against the wood, and this is stapled up there, so it's not going to go anywhere. We're going to take this, slide it in place, get exactly where we want it, and now I can just run a screw through it. A couple of screws in there to hold it in place. I'm going to take these cable wires and push them mostly up into the wall, get them out the way. If that's out the way, I'm not going to cut it with my saber saw because I have my blade set up. We are good. I'll put a flat bar on the ground. So when I push my piece on it, all I have to do is step on it and raise it up. I cut 2 pieces of wood. This is dead wood. The only purpose of this wood is to give me something to nail my sheetrock to on the seams. So this one, I just cut a little shy of my wires. And this one, I'm gonna toenail it down. My drywall will sit right on that. Step on it and push it up to get it tight up top. So I'll get it tight. You want to run these screws straight in, and you want them to just get dimple, and you don't want to go past this paper, because if you go past the paper, you're into the rock and it's not going to hold. It's going to move after you float it, and you're going to have blister holes. So if you're doing nails, they're cupped, and you hammer your nails in there, and you'll make a dent with your hammer, and that way it dings in and it's easy to just to touch up. And then we want to come off 1 inch on this side, 1.5 inches on this side. No big deal. And we'll come off 1 inch. That's gonna get us really close. All right, this is my area. We're gonna cut out. I was right on the stud there. I could feel it, but it goes right over it. Set it over to the side here. Slide it in. Run a couple screws in it. Now all I have to do is go to the back side, score it, and boom, we'll break it loose. Take a knife, run it right here. I'll just take this, roll it out real quick. As long as you have a block of wood behind it, you can make a clean hole all the way through. Nice. We're gonna stop right here. So in the next video, I'm gonna show you how to complete the wiring and how to match this texture perfectly. You can match texture very easily if you know how, and there's a couple of little tricks to it. We'll also add the corner bead and everything else that we need to do to finish this project. Make sure you drop a comment. I'll see you guys on the next project. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out paulstoolbox.com for all my archive videos, and if you want to drop some information there. See you later.